Hi guys, this is Bill from Spencer1984.com with part 2 of building the Deuce of Spades 32 Ford Roadster. Last week I had the seat and the door panels painted, so this week I'm going to be adding some carpeting, and this is some fuzzy paper I picked up at the craft store. So the first thing that I need to do is figure out the basic size that I need. So set this on and just kind of line it up with the edge here, and draw myself an outline. And I'm going to be making some cuts and some adjustments later, so I'm not going to be too picky about it, but I just need to get it pretty close. And now that that's outlined, I can cut that out. And here are the pieces that I'm going to be using. I'll be using tacky glue to hold it down. I found it the best for mixing materials like plastic and paper, and also it holds really nicely. And all I do is just put a wad on with a toothpick, because it squeezes out and not really being too picky about how it's on there. And unlike white glue, it doesn't seem to soften any paper. It actually just seems to hold pretty nicely. So now that that's on, I just kind of stick this in place. And I always start with the center. What I do to make sure that it stays down is I add some clips to it. I'm going to be adding a couple on each side. Any place that there's a transition or the curve changes, just to make sure that it's held down all the way. And this is why I do the center first, because I don't want the clips pushing down on the carpet. So now that I've got these on, I'm going to let this dry for a few hours. And this is what it looks like. And you see here why I said I didn't want to add the clips over finished carpet, because we've got some marks here and there. But that's okay, those will be fixed. So now what I do is I take a little more tacky glue and do the same thing, just kind of spread that across the flat areas. And you see I've got a strip of metal tape in the back. That was because when I first cut it, I cut it a little too long, and so it was curled up in the back. So I just went in with a pair of scissors and trimmed that. That's hidden under the seat, so you'll never see it. And I take my other carpet piece and lay that down. And again, just kind of get it close to where it needs to be. Because this is a flat section of carpet, I won't need to pin it like I did the last one, but I do need to make sure that I get it as close as I can. And that's it. So those spots up at the front and where the seam is, what I'll be doing for that is I'll be making some flocking to fill in. And I do that by taking the leftover chunks and scrape off the top layer. See, that leaves me with just the fuzzy bits. Here's what it looks like with the fuzzy bits scraped off. And what I do is I just kind of tap it into the grooves and then kind of massage it into place. Because of the texture, it holds itself I don't actually need to glue this part. Just kind of get it into the lines here. And you can see with just a little bit of massaging, it actually levels itself out pretty nicely. And here's what the finished floor looks like. You can see it's blended together pretty nicely, and I also included some little carpet pieces on the bottoms of the door panels and the kick panels. I do still need to add the levers, the pedals, and the dashboard. I think I can get that through the firewall opening. If I can't, that's not really an issue because the interior is just snapped in. Very good fit on this kit. Got the body painted TS29 semi-gloss black, which looks like a very nice match for the satin finish that the movie car had. So once I get those last few interior details done, I'll be ready to mount it on the chassis. And speaking of which, I picked up some backing plates and brake drums from Scenes Unlimited, and these are some really nicely done parts. Very fine detailing work, nice thin material, no cleanup necessary whatsoever. If you're looking for some vintage hot rod components, these guys do some really nice work. And this is what they look like painted and installed. Now this is the kit rear axle. Last time I said I wasn't sure if I was going to use this or if I was going to go with a stock 32 Ford piece, but I talked to somebody who was running hot rods in the mid-50s, thanks Dad, and he said that yeah, this would have been an appropriate rear end as long as it was painted black, not the chrome plated components like we saw in the kit, which that was my plan anyway. So that's what that looks like, and this is what it looks like in the chassis. I do still need to add the springs, so this is not the final ride height. I'm going to wait on that until I get the body on it. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how this is coming together. Revell did an excellent job on this kit, and the aftermarket stuff that I've picked up has so far been just that much better. I should be getting my engine parts from Replicas and Miniatures of Maryland tomorrow, so I'll be able to finish off the engine at that point. So check back next week. I hope to have the engine at that stage, and hope to have the body at least mounted on the chassis, if not chassis and full suspension underneath it. Thanks for watching.